Hey up, I'm Guy Kestevan. I wrote a book about being Gary Fisher with Gary Fisher himself. And this is part 4 of me telling you all about it. Sorry for missing yesterday's broadcast. Well, that's the way with advent calendars. Sometimes you're lucky and find 2 chocolates in them, don't you? And I'm going to change up my approach slightly. I've tried talking about the spine. I've tried talking about the cover. But the truth is, although I'm super proud of having been involved in this book project, I'm really bad at selling things that I'm actually involved in. It's why my career in marketing was never that great, apart from writing words behind the scenes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read some of the book out, and I'm going to put some of the pages up there and do that for a couple of episodes, and we'll see how that goes. But thanks to people who've already watched these videos and bought a copy, and for the feedback they're sending in, getting excited about, looking forward to them arriving. Let me know what you think. If you are one of the people who've bought the book, then thank you very much. Well, thanks very much on behalf of Blue Train Publishing. And let me know what you think of it. I really hope you're going to be stoked by it. But first lesson, this I can tell you, having spent 5 years getting this book from that initial LinkedIn message to publication, this Gary quote is, fair warning. I'm always jumping around and getting way ahead of myself, but you'll just have to get used to that. That's the way I am, and just the way it goes. But on that note, let's start with the start. It's inevitable that stories about you always start long before you were even born, with the world you're born into and the people who mould and make you. I guess I got pretty lucky with the people who laid the tracks for me to follow. My great-grandfather, Vincent James V.J. Applegate, literally laid down tracks, because amongst a bunch of other stuff, including mining and working the oil fields in Montana, he built railroads. We grew up listening to stories about what he did and how. There's some crazy stuff and some sad stuff, but what I really remember and learned from the stories was how he treated people right. That sounds pretty normal now, but you've got to remember that back in his day, normality working in the camps was terrible, racist, gangmaster-controlled conditions. He stood out because he had a reputation for treating his Chinese and Irish labourers very well. Not just by Western standards, but also by learning what was important to them and respecting it, and in return, they worked really hard for him. Growing up around these stories taught me that you always need to respect cultures and the way different people do things. It's often the smallest things that mean a big deal. I mean, now you tell anyone who's got a meeting with someone from China, Taiwan or Japan about the whole business card exchange and the bowing ceremony thing. It's stuff like being able to sit on your haunches when you talk with them. It seems odd to us, but that's how some folks naturally sit for a meeting. If you make that effort to be respectful and literally engage at that level, then it makes a big difference. You've gone to meet these guys because you need their skills and their abilities, and yet you're not prepared to respect their culture? That's just straight up rude and arrogant. But I know a lot of people who'd think that you couldn't possibly have a meeting like that it was primitive or some such bullshit. And that's why some companies have a bad experience out there. It's actually a really cool way to sit. I can do it for hours on end still. I was lucky to be schooled early on in that kind of thing by my Japanese aunt and my Japanese friends. I also know people who'd never go into the back rooms or workshops because it's beneath them somehow. Like, if you've got the chance, why would you not go and meet the people who actually make your shit? It's not just basic humanity, it's good business sense. I learned pretty early on that your bike is only as good as the last wrench that touches it. And these are the wrenches and welding torches that can make or break you. If they think you're a shithead or have no idea who you are, then they won't care and you'll get shit product and you'll deserve it. If you make sure the people who are actually hands-on with your stuff are happy, then they'll be happy making it and they'll care about the quality. That connection with the people is crucial, and there's a whole lot of that, of both getting it right and getting it wrong in this story. Those stories about the railroad days also taught me that being too easy on people can be a mistake too. The Italian stonemasons who were crucial to building the tunnels my great-grandfather needed essentially held him to ransom, and his whole railroad business failed. Never made any money because of them. The Italians I've worked with have been totally awesome, but again, you've got to respect the fact that they can think differently. Anyone trying to get product out of them just before they go on vacation for the whole of August will tell you that. But they're also amazingly friendly and creative as a nation. Paola Pezzo, who won Fisher Bikes, the first ever mountain bike Olympic gold medal, was incredible in her level of presentation and preparation. The late Dario Pegoretti, the famous frame builder, was wonderful to spend time with too. He was the one who told me, never follow the market, make the market. I like to think this story will show I took that on board pretty well. So there you go. There's the first storybook style one. Hit me, light up the comments whether you like this approach or not. I am going to go back into describing kind of how the book came about and a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, we've still got plenty of time to go into a lot of different aspects of the book. So if there's anything you'd really like to know about, whether it's how, anything really, just light up the comments and let me know how I'm doing so far. Certainly felt a lot easier just reading from the book, and there are some fantastic stories all the way through it. So let me know what you want to see. I'll be here, well, probably later today with another bunch of footage about the Gary Fisher book from Blue Train Publishing. Again, there's a UK free delivery code in the notes and a buying link down there as well. So thanks for watching. I've been Guy Kestervan. I wrote this book with the iconic Gary Fisher, and I really, really think you should buy it for the good of your health.